Imagine the most important person in your world. Not the hero who saves the day with a fist or a flashy power, but the person who holds everything together when the world itself is trying to fall apart. In the small, perpetually troubled town of Hawkins, Indiana, that person is Joyce Byers. On the surface, she is a mother, a friend, a woman working a modest job at a general store. But to understand Joyce is to look past the surface into the profound and often invisible exhaustion of the caregiver. A role she never asked for but embodies with every fiber of her being. Her story is not one of fighting monsters with weapons, but of fighting for normalcy with love, a fierce and desperate love that becomes both her greatest strength and her deepest sacrifice. Long before a creature from another dimension took her son, Joyce was already in a quiet battle. She is a single mother, raising two boys, Will and Jonathan, on a checkout clerk's salary. The unseen sacrifice here is the sheer, grinding fatigue of making ends meet. It's the worry that keeps you awake at night, not about Demogorgons, but about the electric bill, about worn-out sneakers, about providing not just food but a sense of security. Her life is a tapestry of small, unnoticed heroisms, skipping a meal so her boys can have more, working long hours on her feet, offering a gentle smile even when she is bone-tired. This is the foundational exhaustion, the daily marathon that millions run, and Joyce runs it with a weary grace. Her love for her son's the only fuel she has. Then, the unthinkable happens. Will vanishes, and not just vanishes, but is taken to a place no one can comprehend. In an instant, Joyce's world collapses from one of financial worry into a nightmare of cosmic proportions. Here, her exhaustion transforms. It is no longer just the tiredness from work, it becomes a frantic, psychological and physical depletion. While the authorities, even her own friends, dismiss her as a hysterical, grieving woman, Joyce alone hears the truth. She hears Will's voice in the static of the phone, in the flicker of the Christmas lights. The sacrifice now is her own sanity in the eyes of the world. She willingly becomes the crazy lady, painting her living room with frantic alphabets, stringing up miles of lights, tearing apart her own home. She sacrifices her reputation, her dignity, and any last shred of peace because a mother's instinct is a louder truth than the condescending logic of everyone else. Her exhaustion is in the vibrating tension of every nerve, the sleepless nights spent listening, watching, waiting for a sign. She doesn't get the luxury of shock or catatonia. She must become a detective, a scientist, a soldier in a war only she believes is real. The energy this requires is superhuman, drawn from a well of maternal love so deep it defies the laws of physics. And when she is proven right, when the nightmare becomes everyone's reality, her role does not simplify, it only becomes more complex. She becomes the anchor, not just for her children, but for the entire group fighting the upside down. Joyce is the heart of the resistance. While Hopper punches through walls and the kids wield slingshots and psychic powers, Joyce provides the why. She is the reason they keep fighting. Her home becomes a war room and a sanctuary. She makes food for everyone, she offers a shoulder to cry on, she patches up wounds both physical and emotional. Think of the immense emotional labor of holding together a group of traumatized teenagers, a weary police chief, and her own shattered family. She absorbs their fear and tries to transmute it into hope. This is another unseen sacrifice, the emotional burden of being the strong one. She rarely gets to fall apart. Her own terror for Will, and later for Hopper and Elle, is swallowed down, compartmentalized, so she can be the steady flame for others. The exhaustion is a heavy blanket she wears at all times, the weight of everyone's survival pressing down on her. Her sacrifices reach their most profound level in her relationship with Jim Hopper. Here is another broken person, another caregiver in his own way, drowning in grief. Joyce sees him. She sees through his gruff exterior to the suffering father within. She doesn't just fight monsters with him, she fights his demons. She pulls him back from the brink of self-destruction time and again. She sacrifices her own need for a simple, calm romance, instead stepping into a partnership that is as much about trauma management as it is about affection. Their love story is built in crisis rooms and stolen moments between world-ending events. And then, she loses him. The supposed death of Hopper is perhaps her greatest, most cruel test. After everything, after getting Will back, after surviving the Mind Flayer, she is asked to bear another monumental loss. The exhaustion here is the soul-deep weariness of a survivor. It is the look in her eyes when she moves to a new town, trying to start over. It's not a fresh start, it's a retreat, a life built on the ashes of too many battles. She is caring for 3 boys now, providing a new home, all while carrying a grief so large it has its own gravity. The sacrifice is her own chance at happiness, seemingly buried in the snow of Starcourt Mall. Finally, we see the ultimate testament to her character, her immediate, unwavering adoption of 11 as her daughter. Without hesitation, Joyce opens her heart and her home to this powerful, wounded girl. She doesn't see a weapon or a supernatural phenomenon, she sees a child who needs a mother. In the chaos of the Russian base and the fight to save the world, again, Joyce's focus is singular. Get to Elle, protect her, feed her, love her. This is her final, beautiful sacrifice, the expansion of her heart to include another who has known nothing but loneliness and pain. She becomes the mother Elle never had, offering not out of obligation but out of the pure, overflowing essence of who Joyce Byers is, a caregiver to her core. In the end, Joyce's story is a powerful reminder that the most brutal battles are often fought not with armies but in the quiet, determined eyes of those who refuse to give up on the people they love. Her exhaustion is the price of that love. It is in the lines on her face, the tremor in her hands after a crisis, the way she sometimes stares into the distance, carrying memories no one else can see. Her superpower is not telekinesis or super strength, it is endurance. It is the incredible, human capacity to keep loving, keep fighting, keep putting one foot in front of the other, even when the path leads through hell. She is the glue of Hawkins, the silent engine of the group, the unwavering flame in the darkness. And while the monsters get the dramatic deaths and the heroes get the cheers, Joyce Byers deserves our deepest recognition, for she shows us that the truest heroism lies in the endless, exhausting, and ultimately beautiful act of caring.